So, why do women who have an anxious attachment style struggle with self-compassion, especially after a breakup? Biggest fear of someone with an anxious attachment style is the fear of abandonment. Therefore, an anxiously attached woman depends primarily on external validation because this way she can ensure that she will not be left, that she will not be abandoned. A woman with an anxious attachment style wants love, connection, and closeness more than anything else. So when a relationship ends, all of a sudden her biggest fear has manifested as a reality she has to face. Of course, this creates excruciating levels of pain because she thinks that she has lost the source of the love, of the support that she needed the most. Of course, this fear of abandonment comes from our early childhood. What happens is that when we were children, we learn to relate a certain way to our caregivers, to the people, the person or the people who was the main source of love and attention for us. When we got access, when we had this love and attention consistently, we felt safe, we felt secure. But when this love is inconsistent, it creates this fear that makes us not be able to trust. This inconsistent providing of love and attention from our caregivers created an unhealthy model of love, which we carried from childhood to adulthood. Fast forward to the grown-up woman that she is right now, experiencing the end of this relationship, going through heartbreak. The pain that she is experiencing right now is not only the pain of this current relationship that has come to an end. It is an accumulation of all the moments, all the painful moments that she experienced since the day she was a child till this day in which she is an adult woman. All the moments of pain which she failed to get the love and the connection that she needed to survive. So think of this breakup as like the door that opened floods of painful memories and experiences in her past that caused her to feel fearful, anxious, and worried about never ever again getting the love that she wants more than anything in this life. That being said, let's now talk about the 4 reasons why anxious attachment impacts self-compassion, especially for someone who's going through a heartbreak. The first reason is negative self-perception. Anxious attachment fosters beliefs of unworthiness. Someone with an anxious attachment style, they deeply believe that they are unworthy of love. And that's why they have a heavy reliance on others for worth. This makes self-acceptance extremely difficult because all the acceptance and the validation that we want to get is from external sources, especially from our partner. Of course, a breakup means that we lost the person who we identified with as the source of our worthiness. So this person's absence, this person's leaving us, makes us believe more and more in our unworthiness of having love and a great relationship. The second reason is self-criticism. Constant worry about abandonment fuels harsh internal dialogue and a critical self-judgment, which of course opposes self-compassion. We take things to the extreme, especially after a relationship ends, because we take full responsibility for the failure of this relationship. We unfortunately believe that the relationship failed because we were not good enough. That's why we start to put ourselves down. That's why we fail to feel our true value. Reason number 3 is emotional dysregulation. Difficulty managing intense emotions can lead to feeling overwhelmed, fearful, anxious, which of course reduces our capacity to be kind to ourselves. Reason number 4 is external validation focus. When our sense of self-worth is directly tied to the opinions and the perceptions of our partners, it becomes very hard to have self-compassion for ourselves because we have not been able to meet our needs internally. We constantly depend on this person to make us feel valuable, to make us feel worthy. And therefore, with their absence, we feel that we can't get this sense of self-worth from anywhere else. Now, if you got to this part of the video, I want you to know that it's not all dark. right? Someone with an anxious attachment style is not doomed to failure, is not doomed to a life of fear and anxiety. If you have watched any of my videos, you know that I deeply believe in our ability to change due to neuroplasticity, which is our brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections between our brain cells in response to learning new knowledge, having new experiences, repeatedly conditioning our body to a state of security and safety and calm. Our brains are not fixed. They can rewire themselves by strengthening new pathways and weakening the old ones. I'm here to tell you, and I speak from experience as someone who used to have an anxious attachment style, that doing the internal work on yourself to go from anxious to secure is the most rewarding, self-loving things that you can ever do in your life. The amount of pride and confidence that you're going to feel when you do this work is priceless. I'm going to be super honest with you. Doing this inner work to go from anxious to secure, it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But I can tell you from experience, again, it is so worth it. Self-awareness, nervous system regulation, reconditioning our brains and our bodies to a new state of security, safety, and love are some of the ways through which we can go from anxious to secure. In other videos in this channel, I talk about how to go from anxious to secure, especially after heartbreak. So it would be incredibly useful for you to go out and watch some of these videos. Please let me know in the comments if you find any of what I shared today useful for you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in our next video.